guys. Welcome to the Calder Quell, aka episode 25 of Two Girls Chirping. The Calder Quell. We will be drawing tributes from District, Alabama to host this week's episode. And would you look at that? We're the only two names in the bowl, so it's going to be us.
I don't have any good survival instincts.
That's okay. I'll kill you last. I'll make it gentle. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby. I'm also scared.
For those of you who don't know, that worked out so perfect because the book just dropped, Hamish's book.
Oh my gosh, no spoilers,
No
please.
spoilers. That is the book of our book club next month.
Yeah.
So I'm just avoiding everything. I love being in a book club.
Having a book club. It makes me really happy.
Yeah, I love it. Who are we talking about today?
I've decided to call this episode The Men Behind the Medal.
Ooh.
We're talking about some of the players and or like executives that have gone behind, or the trophies,
the origin stories.
Yeah, that trophies have been named after.
Stunning. But before we do that, let's see what I made a note of this week.
Can I go first?
Sure, you can go first.
You already know this. The Habs have made the playoffs. Bitches.
Bro, it's on my list.
I know. I'm so excited.
Okay, this week's theme is shout outs. First and foremost, I want to shout out our girl Rachel.
Yes.
I love so much when you enjoy an episode and drop like train of thought comments. It
makes me so happy.
It sustains me throughout my week. Especially when our video doesn't do like that great. It's what I need. So thank you. Fan service. We appreciate you.
Orlov, who's now back
and better than ever.
The Canes are in California.
That means Svechnikov should be back today, right?
Svech is on the trip with them, and he's been skating. So
Kochetkov had his 10th shutout this season. Pop off, sir. That is my goalie. That's my king right there.
That's one of our favorite. Ooh, do we want to talk about that?
That's one of my favorite ones. How do you say the other one's name? Janowski? Janowski? Jankowski. You're looking at me like I'm stupid.
I couldn't figure out who you were talking about. You said, how do you say the other one?
Well, I was trying to say it. I don't know
Jankowski?
why. He got 2 goals against the Flyers.
Yeah, him and Stankoven. Welcome to the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm loving it.
I am so happy to have you.
Also, in my head, Stankoven was like 28. It occurred to me this week that him and Jackson Blake are essentially the same age.
It's the facial hair.
And I said,
what?
That can't be right. Yeah, he's technically a rookie. This is technically his rookie season.
I also want to shout out.
Crazy to me.
Yeah. We love you, Stank. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. I'll shut up.
Let me see what else. I don't really feel like I need to mention the fight in the Buffalo Golden Knights game. It was hilarious. That's my favorite instigator right there. It's called Stand With Your Man. And if you didn't watch it, watch it. It was a good game. Shout outs, Jerseys edition. The Blue Jacket. Did you see them?
Was that their Stadium Series jersey too?
No.
They're sick.
I don't think so because that was so gorgeous. Good. Make them your main one. Did you see them?
I know exactly which ones you're talking about because I think they were playing the Devils, right? And I was like,
remember. They had to have been playing the Devils. They were playing one of our teams because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah. They're so good.
I did save a picture because you told me to.
Also, you're telling me that Adam Fantilli is younger than Logan Stankoven?
Look at those jerseys.
Yeah, they're sick.
I mean, oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Also, the Maple Leaf St. Patrick's Day jerseys. I think it was a fun effort, okay? I liked it. If that was their normal jersey, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. But that was so fun.
If you remember correctly.
I probably don't.
When the NHL was founded, Livingstone, the Toronto team was the Toronto Shamrocks. Mm-hmm. So that was really homage to that team that we stole from Eddie Livingstone.
They just happened to wear it on St. Patrick's Day too? A 2-for-1 deal?
Yeah. I don't know if they were actually paying tribute to that, but that literally just occurred to me.
Well, it said like St. Patrick's on the jerseys. I might be making that up. Anyways, I also want to shout out the Capitals Cherry Blossom jerseys. I I see where their creative team was at. It was not the best delivery, but I also was expecting like Mick Schumacher's Japanese GP helmet from 2022.
That was a work of art.
It was a work of art. If they had done something different with the cherry blossoms, it would have been like gorgeous. But it was a great effort, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a good effort.
This is important. Everyone, shut up and pay attention. The biggest shout out of this week is the Canucks beating the Jets, because how? How did we do that?
Because they didn't just, wasn't it like 5-2?
I think it was 6-3.
Same thing.
Yeah, it is basically the same thing. It was not like a one-off. Granted, I don't want to talk about the Canucks Flames games. I'm realizing I actually despise the Flames. It would be fine. I would enjoy their style of play if they weren't playing some of my teams.
It's like the Red Wings.
It is. Like, I will never, ever, ever skip an Archie or Trick video. That is so freaking cute.
That is the best
But when they're playing
marketing.
my teams, I'm like, I just want to have a word with y'all after. Okay? Just a word. Just a little word. And then we already shouted out the Habs and the Senators. But I'm just going to recap because honestly it deserves it. And as the two Habs fans that have been saying we were going to go to the playoffs, walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. The second period is drawn to a close. We're down 1. We're looking around. We're like, hey, we got this. We have got this. We go back in the third period. We score 3 beauties. Shout out to Gally.
Oh my
scored it for his mom, which is an emotional thing I don't want to talk about because I will cry.
I thought he was just emotional because they had made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then finding out that it was because of his mom,
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful game to watch.
The jersey swap that he's doing with that fan, too. Have you seen that?
No.
So
I did see Arbor Jacki show the Albanian necklace and give those kids some pucks, which was very cute.
So, they do the Hockey Fights Cancer, and it's the purple jerseys that they wear during warm-ups. And there's a tag on the inside that it's like, I fight for, and then they write in who they're fighting for.
Yeah, I normally get really emotional when I see that.
3 years ago, he did that for his mom. And he wrote his mom on there, and then it's auctioned off. Well, a fan posted on Twitter a picture of the jersey and was like, I feel like you need this more than I do. I'd love to, give it back to you. And so they're doing the jersey swap at a game.
Ew, are you tearing up? I am tearing up. Oh, my gosh.
So, there's that.
That is so beautiful. And I didn't want to talk about it because I knew I would be emotional like this.
Oh, my gosh.
What? That hits close to home.
I know, yeah.
Anyways, Connor McDavid is out with a lower body injury. Kill me. And Leon Draisaitl is day to day. But then the coach was like, he could probably play, but he's not going to. So basically, he's okay, but they want to save him for playoffs. And that's
what
fine.
I'm getting to.
Also, it doesn't count as crying if the tears aren't shed. And if there's one thing I'm good at doing, it's sucking them right back in.
Yeah.
That's all my recaps that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Lewis Hamilton won a sprint race today.
Woo!
Live, laugh, love him. Shout out Joey Decord.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Our favorite F1 influencer.
Who was that DM'd us about that?
Oh, on TikTok. I don't know.
Was it? Okay. Oh, look, really, really fast.
I knew about it already. Apparently, Lauren didn't know. I guess
I did not.
He's so freaking funny. I loved at the end of last season his recap of the last race, and then he unzips his jacket, and it's a Ferrari shirt.
It's Emmykins. She knows who she is. I'm not going to shout out her full username. But
yeah.
Shout out Emmy because that was really cute. I didn't know the crossover is that beautiful thing to see. Which one was it that was on Drive to Survive? As like a little.
Why is he friends with Zach Brown?
I mean, it could be worse. He could be friends with Christian Horner.
You're right. It could always be worse.
Or Helmut Marko.
Why can't he just be friends with Toto Wolff?
That's an excellent question.
Where's Fred Vassier?
I just feel like Toto keeps a very tight circle.
Yeah.
I love that man. I don't need to start on that. We need to start on our episode. Okay. That's everything that I had to talk about. And I think I took
13 minutes.
I was aiming for less than 15, so that's good. Perfect. Goal met.
Goal met.
Got me goaltender.
Okay.
Because I met that goal.
I created a PowerPoint for this week's notes.
Stop. That's so cute and pastel-y.
Thank you so much. It's a template I found. So, there are so many trophies. I picked 6.
Pick suits.
I picked my top 6.
God, this is so good. They made it with love today.
So good. They did make it with love. And maybe a little bit of crack.
Shout out to my 7 brew girlies.
Yes.
They hold me down.
Yeah. Okay, the 6 trophies we're talking about. The James Norris.
Lovely.
The Hart, Calder, Ted Lindsay, Vezina, and Maurice Richard. So
I started to think that was all one name because you said one and then you listed them all. And I was like, no.
That's my bad.
They can't. No.
First and foremost, I have it separated into sections. So who's it given to? Notable winners, who's in the running this season, and then the history behind it.
Oh, that's so fun. Okay, let's freaking go.
Yes. I love having a PowerPoint. It makes me so happy. I'm such a nerd.
I know you do.
So I have the James Norris Trophy. It's given to the best defenseman of the regular season.
Period.
It's selected by the Professional Hockey Writers Association. They do like a point system. I actually quite like it. The majority of the trophies are done this way. They'll rate their top 5 players, and like the number 1 player that they think it should go to will get 10 points, 10, 7, 5, 3, 1, just so that they get like an accurate read and it's not just a vote for one player.
Fair enough.
The first winner of this was Red Kelly.
Oh, my man. That's a blast from the past.
It was introduced in 1953. Bobby Orr has
won
it
70 years ago.
Yeah,
that's a little bit over, but
Bobby Orr won it a record of 8 straight seasons. Nicholas Lindstrom won it 7. Quinn Hughes won it last season. Other than that, Cale Makar, Brent Burns, Erik Karlsson has won it 3 times. Yossi, PK Subban won it. The Bruins organization has won it a total of 14 times, and Montreal has won it 12.
Love to see it. We love to see it, you guys.
In the running this season, and again, there's really no way to know. We just kind of guess.
I think it's going to be Cale Makar.
Well, Cale Makar is in the running. Zach Werenski for the Blue Jackets is who CBS Sports picked as their guess. What does
CBS even know?
I don't know. Quinn Hughes is also in the running, but that was also pre-injury.
He stood a good chance before he kept breaking himself.
Yeah, I think Cale Makar will get it.
I think he will too. I think it would have been tight if Quinn hadn't gotten hurt.
Yeah,
twice.
I agree. So James Norris, we actually know a lot.
I love the Norrises.
We actually do love the Norrises.
I've actually never met a Norris I didn't love. Lando Norris, the Norris family. Haven't met any of these people, but via the internet.
I've never met a Norris I didn't know. Were you back in the 1950s with James E. Norris?
Yes, I'm an old soul.
So it was given to the league, this piece of metal.
Dang.
Was donated to the NHL by James E. Norris's 4 children after he passed. So in 1954 was the first time that it was given out. Mm-hmm. We also know Norris was the owner and president of the Red Wings for 20 years. It's a whole ordeal. I've actually reading back through like how big of an impact he had on the NHL and then like the living stone of it all while doing all of this research made me so happy because I was like, I love the pettiness.
I love the pettiness. This was peak pettiness for me.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick. From 1974 through 93, they had a division called the Norris Division as well, named after him. The International Hockey League also has a James Norris Memorial Trophy that's given out to the top goalie. So people love him. He was
I mean, that family has done a lot for the sport.
That's an understatement.
A lot.
That is such an understatement, but yeah. Norris was
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
He was a Quebec native and made a lot of his money as a businessman operating grain and cattle companies. That's what his whole family business was. Like his dad had a grain business and all of that. His family runs deep in Quebec. Norris Place in St. Catharines, Ontario is named after his grandparents, James and Sophrina Norris.
Sophrina?
Yeah.
Cute.
I didn't actually know. He did play a little bit of hockey. He played youth and junior hockey in Montreal before moving to Chicago at 18 to take over his family grain business by the time he was 28.
God.
Right? In 1926, the NHL announces that they want to expand and put a team in Chicago. Norris put in a bid. It was beat out by Frederick McLaughlin, but he helped finance that stadium. Now, we know the Norrises can be petty.
They are divas.
They are divas. He wanted to bring another team to Chicago with Patty Harmon, but it was not approved by McLaughlin because McLaughlin owned the rights to the area.
Yeah.
So instead, they limited his team's ice time, and it was slim to none. And he basically just, not monopolized. That's not the right word.
Bullied?
Yeah, that's a good one. And then in 1932, he applied to put a team in St. Louis, which was denied by the NHL because travel expenses were going to be terrible at the time. It's the 30s. Meanwhile, there's this Detroit Falcons. We know all about this. It doesn't matter. He comes in, he buys the Falcons, turns them into the Red Wings, clears all of their debt, establishes the Detroit Red Wings. Under James Norris's ownership, they won 5 Stanley Cups. Period. He also bought full ownership of the Blackhawks Stadium, as we know as well. They kind of used that as a filler team.
He did it his way. I'll give him that. He did it how he wanted. He had plenty of power. He also bought enough stock in MSG to call a lot of the shots with the Rangers. Exactly.
He didn't have majority ownership because that's forbidden. But he had a really close to majority. He also lent money to the Bruins organization to keep them out of financial trouble. So he had a lot of input there as well.
With no ulterior motive at all.
None. Not at all. Needless to say, the man had money, he had power, and he had a big impact on the NHL.
And he did not feel any type of shyness about spinning it to get what he wanted.
No, he did not. And neither did his sons, because James D. and Bruce are both also in the Hockey Hall of Fame. James E. Norris was inducted in 1958 after his death. And that's James Norris, the trophy for the best defenseman. It's interesting to me that they're like, oh, we'll just do it for the best defenseman. But
it's interesting to me that it's for a defenseman when he played offense.
He did play hard offense. But you know what? He did defend what was his.
He said, you know what? When you got enough money, you can really make a trophy out of nothing.
Yeah. So that is the Norris. Next up, we have the Hart Memorial Trophy.
I'm so curious about this one and the Calder.
Do you know who it's given out to?
Most valuable player?
Yes.
Woohoo! That was a wild guess.
It's also, I think all but one of these are selected by the Professional Hockey Writers Association. So I'm just going to stop mentioning it after this unless it's not otherwise. Notable winners. Gordie Howe won the first one in 1924.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wayne Gretzky has won it 9 times.
That doesn't feel like enough times.
It doesn't. Connor McDavid won it 3. Ovi won it 3 times. Sidney Crosby's won it twice. Bobby Orr won it 3 times. Mario Lemieux won it 3. Taylor Hall's won it.
What?
Yeah. Nathan McKinnon won it last year, and it's kind of looking like he's going to win it again this year. This was hard to find who exactly was in the running, because it's very much up for grabs still. Mm-hmm. Connor Hellebuck could for sure win it. Leon Draisaitl could win it. That's my pick prior to him getting injured. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting one to watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nathan McKinnon won it again.
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah. So the Hart Trophy was introduced in 1923.
102 years ago.
A long time ago. The original one was actually retired into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1960. And so now there's a new one that's the Hart Memorial Trophy that circulates. It was donated by David Hart, the father of Cecil Hart, who it is named after, in honor of him and his long time coaching with the Canadiens. He was also general manager for the Canadiens for a long time as well.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. Now,
would you say he had heart?
And soul. Now, Cecil didn't play hockey for real. He played for like a city league in the 1910s. This is so long ago, actually. It's so crazy to me. He played for like a city league for a bit and then became a coach. After becoming a coach of the Habs, he won the 1930 and 31 Stanley Cups. He was fired because he had a dispute with the owner. The Habs plummeted in the standings after he was fired.
Period. That's one of my favorites.
And the team was sold in 1936, where they rehired him for that season.
Would you look at that? Would you look at that?
He then became general manager as well as head coach from 1936 through 39 for 3 seasons before retiring. In total, he coached 10 seasons with the Habs, 5 of which they were the number 1 team in Canada. Despite being eligible to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame and being only one of 18 head coaches to win multiple Stanley Cups in the history of the NHL, he is not in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Why? I feel like we've overlooked something there. Yeah,
he is, however, inducted into the International Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, which his family, he's a direct descendant of Aaron Hart, the first Jewish man to ever colonize in Canada.
Dang!
That's
a nice lineage.
Insane.
If you're into that sort of thing.
I guess. But, so he is inducted into the International Jewish Sports Hall of Fame in 1992, long after his death.
When did he die?
Oh, he passed in 1940.
I mean, there was still a lot of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's why he didn't get inducted, but it feels...
Well, after retiring from coaching, he became vice president and treasurer of a Vermont, Quebec-based baseball league that he held that position until he died. Baseball. In 1940. He's just like sports, dog.
Okay, dog.
This award is very up in the air, and it's never really unanimous because it's not based on necessarily
is there objective
the
criteria or quantitative criteria to me, or is it just kind of like in the eye of the beholder?
It's in the eye of the beholder. That's why they do the point system. There's only been 2 times that a player has won unanimously. In 1982 with Wayne Gretzky.
I knew Gretzky was going to be one.
And in 2021 with Connor McDavid.
Oh my God, I'm so smart. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to yell into these because then Abby texts me when she's editing is like, can you stop yelling, please? I'm so smart. I knew it.
You're very smart.
Well, that's not true, but
I wish that
I'm good at guessing sometimes.
Girl, you are in school to get your doctorate.
Any idiot can get a doctorate.
In medicine?
I'm not getting it in medicine. I'm getting it in nursing.
You're right. I'll just fuck off.
It's way harder to get one in medicine.
I wish that we had more history on Cecil Hart because he seems like he was a really great guy.
Yeah.
And like he knew so many different sports and the ins and outs of how to run a team. But because it was the 1930s, we don't really have a ton of history on him, which is annoying.
You guys, what the heck? What could possibly be more important than that? The Great Depression and then World War II?
We do have a lot of history on Frank Calder, though, for the Calder Memorial Trophy.
Don't tell me. Is this one for the best rookie?
Yes. This is Rookie of the Year. They rank their top 5 players to get this as well. Last season was Connor Bedard, which tracks.
My sweet baby. Kirill Kaprizov?
Kirill Kaprizov has won it. Kirill
Kaprizov?
Yeah.
I think I've said it right 3 times.
You have. Kirill Kaprizov has won it. Nathan McKinnon. Elias Pettersson won it, which I didn't know. Matty Beniers. Chris Drury won the Calder.
I can't get away from the Rangers.
I can't get away from him.
But I am going to see if I can make it a whole episode without bringing up you-know-who.
Okay. Avengie Malkin, Patrick Kane. We know all the
usual
names.
Suspects.
Yes, all the usual suspects. Wayne Gretzky did not win Rookie of the Year because of the whole 10-year personal services contract and the way that he was brought into the NHL. all of that, they disqualified him from it.
Whatever.
So
whatever, major losers.
That's probably like the biggest upset when it comes to the Calder.
That's bullcrap.
This year's pretty tight.
Who do you think? Who's in the running?
My pick is Lane Hudson.
Me too.
Macklin Celebrini's very much in the running.
Shoot, I changed my answer. Let's go, Macklin.
Shoot, I'll change it.
You charmed me.
Dustin Wolf, a Calgary goalie, is also very much in the running. Matvey Mishkov for the Flyers is also very much in the running. I kind of think...
Give it to Macklin. He deserves it. Lane's going to get to go to the playoffs. What is Macklin going to get to do? Maybe have his team win 20 games
He's
if we're
get
generous.
To hang out with Will Smith.
You're right. I'm not worried about him.
I think...
Can we give it to Connor again for morale? Is there like a strongest battle or like God's favorite soldier award?
The strongest soldier. Yeah. No, that would definitely go to him. Hang on.
Maybe I can make that an award.
So let's talk about Frank Calder.
I'd love to.
Because
let's be frank about it.
Let's be frank about it. Frank was the first NHL president, period.
An exclamation point.
From 1917 through 1943 when he passed. So he really said,
the only thing separating
me with this shit.
Is death.
Literally. He was born in England.
Lovely.
He played a ton of sports there, none of which were hockey. When he decided he wanted to leave England, he was stuck between going to Canada or the U.S. Do you know how he decided?
How?
Did
he flip a coin?
He literally flipped a coin.
Heads was Canada, tails was U.S.?
I don't know which one was which, but it landed on Canada. So
it's a good call.
So he said, I'm going there.
Said, sure, love a winter.
He came to Canada, as if we're in Canada right now. He went to Canada, became a private school teacher where he met his wife, Amelia, who is a fellow teacher.
Stop it right now.
They got married. They had 3 sons and a daughter.
That poor daughter.
Yeah. At some point in time, he became a sports editor for the Montreal Witness and then moved to like financial editors for the Montreal Herald.
He was just hustling and bustling. Also, the Montreal Witness is a super cool name for a newspaper. It? Can I get a witness? Present? Mark it.
While being an editor, he created the Montreal School Rugby League. Mm-hmm. And founded the Quebec Football Association. Soccer, not like American football.
He said, I'm about to get my sports on.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you a thing or two.
He also played a major role in the NHL being founded and keeping Livingstone out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Forget Livingstone. What a douche.
He obviously knew sports and money. So at some point in time, I'll tell you exactly the point in time. In 1914, he was appointed Secretary Treasurer of the NHA.
Oh, no. I forgot they have all these, like, acronyms.
There's only going to be the 2.
Okay, thank you.
The NHA president in 1917 decided to resign. Frank Robinson, by the way.
Was it under duress?
I think he just wanted to retire. And Calder said, this is the perfect opportunity to kick Livingstone out.
He said, can I be frank? I hate that dude. Will you let me be in charge, please?
I hate that man.
Raise your hand if you hate Livingstone. Great. Let me be the head bitch in charge on this, okay?
Yeah. So he secretly met with other owners and arranged a way to get rid of Livingstone.
Shut up. So he really did what I just said?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
And they came to, as we know, say, we're going to take a 2-week break. We're not, actually, I don't even think it was 2 weeks. We're going to not play this season. 2 weeks later, we've actually founded another league and you're not invited.
Just kidding.
Bye. So naturally, they appointed him president of the NHL upon its founding.
Yeah.
I have a couple bullet points of some things that he did. He allowed them to play in Livingstone's arena with his players, jerseys and all that. He was a bit harsher, but back then there wasn't like the Players Association or anything, so he kind of opted to fine and suspend players when they went on strike rather than negotiate with them.
Yeah, that was very big in that time period.
Yeah. He did create an agreement with the American Hockey Association to merge those two leagues. But then he found out that Livingstone actually owned a team in the AHA and said, never mind.
Immediately no.
I actually don't want this at all.
Actually, screw you guys.
And went one step further and declared that some of Livingstone's players on that Chicago team actually belonged to the NHL.
The audacity. What's his birthday? What's his sign?
I don't know his side.
That's good. I'll look it up.
Frank Calder.
Bro, this man was born November 17th, 1877. Scorpio. That tracks. Yeah, that matches.
Yeah, so then he had beef with the AHA. But that didn't stop him
Fair
from
enough.
letting James E. Norris into the NHL owners group despite him owning an AHA team.
Well,
But
James
he's a Norris.
is a Norris, first and foremost, a baddie, second most, and 3, an ally.
Period. Speaking of allies,
Ally!
this was a very hard time to be a minority. Most
Ain't
times
that
are.
a freaking understatement for history?
But he was pro-minorities being a part of the NHL. He actually said, quote, pro hockey has no ruling against the colored man, nor is it likely to ever draw the line. Period, king.
That's my man. Frank, king of my heart.
It's actually the bare minimum.
It is the
Don't
bare
be
minimum. But in
racist.
that age, it was not the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a legend.
So while he was president, he made it his own mission to give a permanent trophy, just like a single trophy. He got a new one every year, so the rookie got to keep it, to the best rookie, and then became a league-wide tradition in 1936. So he did it for 4 seasons prior, before being like, oh, well, the NHL can actually fund this one. After 20 years of being the NHL president, he passed.
Oh,
Do you
rip.
want to know how he died?
Alcoholism.
No.
Motor vehicle accident.
While
Gun to the head.
While holding an
Sorry, I work in trauma.
It took such a dark turn.
Sorry, y'all.
Well,
My bad.
while holding a meeting with the NHL Board of Governors in Toronto, he had a heart attack.
Wow, what an
Was
innocent way to go.
transported to the hospital, and then 3 days after decided he was well enough to fly back home to Montreal.
Exactly, period.
Which he suffered another... Why did I go so...
Siffered.
Which he suffered another heart attack upon landing. Went to the hospital. Had
'Cause you
another
shouldn't be
fatal
flying.
heart attack at the hospital.
And you know what? I'd
passed.
rather die in Montreal, too.
Yeah.
He did it his way.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra. Frank Calder. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels or yields. I can't remember. Though the records show I took the fall and did it my way. Burn, burn, burn,
That was
burn.
actually pretty good.
Was it? That's a complete accident.
Well, he passed. The NHL decided to keep the trophy going in honor of him.
Appropriate.
When the Hockey Hall of Fame was established in 1947, he was one of the initial people inducted as a builder.
Exactly.
Period.
Frank the Builder.
Yes. The AHL's championship cup is also named the Calder Cup in memory of him. And he was also inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame as of 2015 after being awarded the Order of Sport,
Ooh.
Canada's highest sports honor.
That feels very appropriate.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do that for Cecil?
Why is Cecil not in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Cecil's in my Hockey Hall of Fame.
Period. The Ted Lindsay Award.
Never heard of this. But I want to take a wild
Really?
guess. I have no guesses left. Wait, don't tell me. Best goalie?
Mm-mm.
Best coach?
It's similar to one that we've already covered.
Best player?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Maybe not in stats, but in vibes.
It's also the most outstanding player. But this one is voted on by the NHL Players Association.
That's what I was trying to say. It's not like That's what this meant.
It's kind of known to go hand in hand with the Hart. They're just voted on by two separate associations. Last season, Nathan MacKinnon won it.
Yeah, he really had a season.
Tracks. The Oilers, so this was established in 1971, or was introduced in 1971. The Oilers have won it 11 times.
Gosh.
And the Pens have won it 10.
Sheesh.
Wayne Gretzky has won it 5 times. McDavid has won it 4. Both Crosby and Yager have won it 3 times. Leon Draisaitl's won it. Austin Matthews has won it.
Really?
Yeah, right?
Austin Matthews mentioned.
Papa,
that's my captain. What do they call him? Captain Poppy? What do they call him?
I don't know.
It's something with Poppy.
It's something with Poppy.
It doesn't matter. He knows what it is. I call him baby girl.
So in the running this year, Nathan MacKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, Connor Hellebuck. It's also just pretty much in the air.
I think I've been sleeping on Connor Hellebuck, and I apologize.
Connor Hellebuck is my number 1 player of the year.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to differ with you there.
I'm not even a Jets fan. He's the Jets goaltender.
Their uniforms are gorgeous, though.
Yeah,
I know who he is via Four Nations. Yeah. That's when it locked in.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to roll through this quick because there's.
Who did you say? I'm sorry. Who did you say was in the running for it?
Nathan MacKinnon, Connor Hellebuck, Leon Draisaitl. It's also pretty much up in the air. Same with the Hart.
Let's give it to Leon.
It was originally named the Lester B. Pearson Award before being changed to Ted Lindsay in 2010. It'll make sense why it was changed to Ted Lindsay because...
Can I take a guess? The other one was a bad person?
No, he just had nothing to do with hockey.
Okay. Dang.
I was kind of like, why is this named after him? I mean, he donated it, but I'm also... Okay.
Well, if you donate, you name.
16 players have won both the Ted Lindsay and the Hart in the same season. That's how much hand in hand it goes.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does.
Your MVP and your most outstanding are most of the time going to be the same.
Yeah, and typically both parties should agree. So, the Lester B. Pearson, who was that? You may ask.
Hey, who was that?
He was the Prime Minister of Canada from 1963 through 68. He won the 1957 Nobel Peace Prize, fought in both World Wars, volunteering in World War I for the medical side.
Yikes.
Learned to fly, survived the first flight that he took, which was, it crashed. The plane crashed, his first flight, he survived it. He was then discharged from World War I after being hit by a bus in a blackout.
That is not funny.
It's not funny at all.
That is not funny.
At all. World War II, he coordinated supply and refugee problems. He took on more of a political stance from that, and he wasn't necessarily out there fighting. He was
fighting at home.
Yeah, he was doing stuff for it still. 1944, he became the Canadian ambassador to the U.S., which pop off, and then became prime minister in 1963, retiring in 1968. So Ted Lindsay, then, who it was renamed after. In 1994, he got a chance to try out for the Red Wings team. Made his NHL debut at 19 years old, playing on the production line. Does that ring a bell?
Oh my gosh. How the heck did he get on that?
With Sid Abel and Gordie Howe becoming a major player.
Put that on my tombstone.
Yeah. They had nicknamed him Terrible Ted because he was a very tough and aggressive player to play against. To the extent that the NHL actually created penalties for kneeing and elbowing because of him.
Totally unique. Never been done before. Yeah. One of a kind. Yeah. Diva.
He won the Art Ross Trophy, which we're not talking about today, but it's for the leading scorer of the regular season. He won that in 1950 along with the Stanley Cup. Yeah.
Get it, freaking Ted.
He was actually the first player to take the Stanley Cup and do a lap around the rink with it, which is now a tradition.
God, he is such an influencer.
He is an influencer.
My name is Ted Lindsay.
Here's some other ways that he was a major influencer. After attending a promotional conference with football and baseball players, he learned how much better their playing conditions were, how much better they were being treated, and all that. And he said, now there's a good idea because we're barely making any money. Most players were having to work part-time jobs or summer jobs to pay their bills.
Oof.
Yeah. And they didn't have health insurance. They didn't have any kind of pension plan. They had nothing. So he, after that conference, met with the lawyers of those players for other leagues and decided to establish the Players Association.
What an icon.
Yes. At this time, too, teams had rights to the players for their entire careers.
Absolutely
not. Which is insane.
Absolutely not.
So in 1972, he had met secretly with a lot of players getting their
I love a secret meeting.
Support until it was basically a unanimous decision, all of which was alongside Montreal defenseman Doug Harvey.
Oh my God, love.
Yeah. They wanted minimum salaries and pension plans and, just like benefits.
Insurance.
Being able to pay their bills is great. Now, as we know, well, you may not remember.
He paved the way because now they're millionaires.
Yeah, he played for the Red Wings.
Yes.
We know James Z. Norris was
hard.
And a lot of the owners weren't fans of this whole association and players wanting rights. And so they would trade them. So he got sent to Chicago, which was just a dumping ground team at this point in time. He was stripped of his captaincy because he was also captain of the Red Wings. And he just took it. He was like, okay, that's fine. We're still going to try to set this up.
He said, never back down, never what?
Never give up. Give me my rights. So Jack Adams, who was not the general manager. He was either general manager or head coach of the Red Wings at this time. They really wanted to ruin his reputation so that they could get this Players Association thing.
His nickname was Terrible Ted.
Yeah, they didn't want him to have it. So Jack Adams actually planted fake rumors, including a false contract that showed an inflated salary to gaslight the other Red Wings players into rejecting the Players Association. It worked.
And you know what? That's really smart.
Yeah, it worked. And Ted Lindsay filed an antitrust lawsuit against the league.
I'm trying not to yell. Period.
Claiming a monopoly since 1926. Mainly based off of James E. Norris's actions.
In the words of sign language.
They settled outside of court in 1958, agreeing to the terms that the players wanted.
Wow.
Jack Adams
backfired, huh?
Jack Adams was fired in 1961.
Bye.
And the Players Association was officially formed in 1967.
Man, Ted Lindsay, what a guy.
Right?
That's my terrible Ted.
Yeah. He was known for his skills, tenacity, and leadership, which is an understatement.
Ain't that the freaking truth?
He won 4 Stanley Cups, played over 1,000 games with 851 career points, which was not heard of at the time. Won the Art Ross. There's actually a movie depicting how the Players Association was founded. If you want to watch it, it's called Net Worth.
Which that's actually a sick name.
That's a really good name.
I really like that.
I haven't seen it, but I do want to watch it. Yeah, he was named one of the top 100 greatest players in NHL history. Him and Conn Smythe, though, had major beef.
That tracks with divas, though.
Conn Smythe was not a fan of the Players Association. Didn't want it to be founded. Didn't want to do anything. They just had major beef. That could be a whole episode in and of itself.
Was he a player?
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Stand with your man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A few more notes on him. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1966, but refused to attend the ceremony because it was men only, and he couldn't bring his wife or kids.
Dude, this is my man.
The following year, they changed the rule.
You drop this.
It's your crown, king.
Oh, my God.
Detroit has retired his number 7 jersey.
Yeah.
There's a statue of him alongside Gordie Howe's statue.
I kind of want to get a little statue of him for our house.
Just like right here. There's also the Ted Lindsay Foundation to fund research into autism, mainly looking for a cure, but also providing support to the families of those with autism in it. He passed away in 2019 at 93 years old.
Gone too soon.
Yeah.
Did one of his kids have autism? Mm-mm. Oh, that's my man.
Yeah.
That's my man.
And that's Ted Lindsay.
That is Mr. Ted Lindsay. Mm-hmm. That's my captain. You know what? Maybe the Red Wings. Maybe I do like them.
Okay, we got 2 more.
All right, let's do it.
That one was the most information, but I was like, I love this man.
Yeah, so I feel like all of that was vital.
Yeah. So next up, we have the Vezina Trophy. Do you want to take a guess on what it is?
Most points? Mm-mm. Best team? Mm-mm. Best coach?
Mm-mm.
Don't know.
The best goaltender.
Oh, did I not guess that last award?
You did. This is voted on by the general managers of all of the NHL teams.
Okay.
Last season was Connor Hellebuyck.
I'm going to vote for Kochekov. I want to say that now.
If
you were letting me vote, it would be Kochekov. I know Hellebuyck is probably up there, but Kochekov.
Last year, Hellebuyck won it. Jacques Plante has won it 7 times. He's
Jacques.
Now retired. Olmark won it. Shesterkin, Fleury, of course.
No freaking shit.
Carey Price, Andre Vasilevsky, the normal ones. We know.
The usual crew.
This year, it's going to be Connor Hellebuyck. There's really no competition. At all.
I mean,
and look, I'm not even a Jets fan.
You've said that.
But if he didn't win it, I might be rioting in the streets.
I am not going to riot over that.
You're right. It's not that deep, actually.
But you can do whatever you want because you're your own unique individual. But I'll be at home. Probably watching a game.
Yeah, fair.
Watching the live stream.
So, the Vezina was introduced in 1927 as well. Don't worry, the last one was introduced in 99, so it doesn't have as much history, but
okay, thank God.
It was introduced by the 3 former owners of the Montreal Canadiens. I'm not going to list all their names.
Shout out my Montreal guys.
There's a lot of Montreal in this.
Well, I mean, they've been around forever.
Can I pause for a second and say this one thing as I almost throw my iPad across the room?
Can I pause?
If you've ever watched a Habs game, in the intermissions, they're doing their commentary, and behind them is all 23 Stanley Cups.
I thought it was 24.
23 or 24. I don't...
All 20 plus.
All more than 20. It's all their Stanley Cups. It is such a sick shot.
It is such a casual flex.
It's like...
It hits every time for me.
Every time. Okay, anyway, back to the Vezina. It was presented to the NHL by the 3 owners in honor or in memory of George Vezina, who was a goaltender for the Habs.
That makes sense.
It was introduced after he collapsed during a game in 1925 before dying a few months later from tuberculosis.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That was on my last exam, and we should have did ibuprofen.
I definitely
That's neither here nor
there. You just said.
At the Butol, if you're feeling sick with it.
Yeah.
Little pyramide.
Before we talk about George, the trophy was originally given to the goaltender who allowed the least amount of goals, but I don't feel like it's an accurate representation of how many goals they actually, or how many saves they actually made, which is funny because neither did the league. And in 1981, it started being given to the most outstanding goaltender. It was a voted process as opposed to they allowed the least amount of goals.
Yeah, I think that's fair to change. I agree with that.
Yeah. So, George Vezina was the son to a local bakery.
Shut up.
Yes. He left school at 14 years old to help out in the family bakery.
Dang.
And started skating for the first time at just 16.
Sheesh.
Yeah. He played 16 seasons. 7 in the NHL, or 7 in the NHA, and then 9 in the NHL. So he made the transition.
So he started skating at 16 and skated professionally for 16 years. Pfft, cinema.
Oh my gosh. He was signed by Montreal in 1910, and until 1925, he played 327 consecutive games as their only goaltender.
Okay, Stahl. Okay, Brett Burns.
Period. Dude, Brett Burns' game streak is insane.
Yeah.
He won 2 Stanley Cups, helping lead the team to 5 Stanley Cup finals. And his second child, this is just hockey right here. His second child, a son, was born the night of their 1916 Stanley Cup win.
Wow.
Which is...
That's crazy.
He was known to be very calm and collected and just composed. He sat alone in the locker room with a newspaper and a pipe.
What a cutie.
He did allow the fewest goals for 7 seasons, which is insane.
Get it, George.
And then in November 1925, he left a game early due to illness, was diagnosed with tuberculosis, and died in 1926. Hundreds of Catholic churches held masses in honor of him.
Yeah.
The Canadians...
I wish I could have been there.
Yeah.
I would have gone to mass too.
Dude, me too. The Canadians donated the trophy, and when the Hockey Hall of Fame was established in 1945, he was also one of the first people to be inducted and named one of the top 100 NHL players in history.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, he seemed sweet. The last one.
Just a newspaper and a pipe.
I know. I was like, that's so goaltender coded.
That is.
He's just in his own world.
He's just in his own world.
He's really quiet unless you know him. The Maurice Richard Award. I don't know what I was waiting for you to react with.
I'm trying to guess, but I've gone through my guesses already.
Oh.
Just go ahead and tell me.
The regular season leading goal scorer.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Selected by the NHL Board of Governors.
Ain't they all?
There can be ties in this because it is strictly based off of goals.
Yeah.
So in 2020, David Pastrnak, Alexander Ovechkin tied for the award, and they shared it.
Ovechkin's only got 7 goals to go to beat. Words are hard to beat Gretzky's record.
Yeah. This award was introduced in 1999. The first person to win it was Teemu Selanne with the Mighty Ducks.
I love him.
Yeah. Last season.
This has been such a fun episode because we're hearing, well, not all, but like some of our like old names, and I'm like, Angels.
Like, hi, how are you?
Just checking in.
Austin Matthews won it last season.
Wow.
For the 3rd time.
Oh. Okay, Poppy.
This should come as no surprise. Ovechkin has won it 9 times.
Yes.
Crosby's won it. Pasta's won it. McDavid's won it.
I'm voting for Ovechkin this season. I don't care that I'm not allowed to vote. I'm just verbalizing my vote.
Right now, and let me actually pull this up currently because I think people have played since I did this stat. Leon Draisaitl currently leads with 49 goals. Sorry, it's the wrong stat. With 49 goals. William Nylander's in second with 38. Kyle Connor is third with 37, and then Ovi and Mark Sheffield are tied for 4th with 35.
Well, you know what then? I'm gonna have to stand with my blonde. Go Nylander, go.
Go Nylander, go.
That's my blonde king right there.
I would be kind of surprised if Draisaitl didn't win it.
Well, he's
it really
hurt
just
now.
depends on how long he's out, yeah. So it was gifted to the NHL by none other than the Montreal Canadiens.
Wow, they're really holding it down.
Yeah, I love them
they
so
said positive
much.
affirmation. You get an award, you get an award, and you get an award.
Yeah. He's the oldest of 8 children.
No, thank you.
Yeah, raised during the Great Depression to an already poverty-stricken family.
He really beat those odds.
Yeah, for sure. He started skating at 4 years old on a small rink that his dad made in their backyard. Stop. He also played baseball and did boxing.
Oh,
period.
That boxing's gonna come in handy.
Yeah. When he started playing organized hockey, he took on a fake name so that he could play for multiple teams.
Okay, icon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I said trope alert, all caps. He married his teammate's younger sister.
Wow. They had a best friend, best friend's younger sister trope.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. And childhood lovers?
He was 20 and she was 17.
Ew.
Which I understand this was pre-World War II, but I'm also like,
17?
Yeah. People were getting married so young.
She's a minor. Give me different stats. I want to forget that.
We'll just keep it at he married his teammate's younger sister. Trope.
He married a teenager.
Yeah, he was thought to be intense but fragile because he had.
Wow, another trope. Check that off the list.
She fell first, but he fell harder.
She was a teenager. Her frontal lobe wasn't even developed.
Yeah, but people were getting married at like 16. It's insane. So he had
our grandparents were married at 17 and 18.
Yeah.
That was World War II, though.
Yeah, so was this.
Yeah, 20 and 17 don't hit the same as 17, 18 to me. That's okay.
Okay. He was thought to be intense but fragile. He had a string of injuries, one of which actually prevented him from joining in World War II. But he was hella violent on ice. He spent 18 seasons with the Canadiens. He was the first player in NHL history to ever have 50 goals in a season, and also just in 50 games.
Freaking get it,
And
sir.
he was the first player in NHL history to have over 500 goals in his career.
What was his name again?
Maurice Richard.
Okay.
He was a member of the Habs Punchline.
Okay, I love a name.
An extremely high-scoring line in the 40s. He was nicknamed the Rocket, and his center was actually nicknamed Pocket Rocket.
That's so cute.
I know. I love it.
Precious.
Here's his violent play.
Ooh.
He was suspended in 1955 for the rest of the season and for playoffs after hitting a linesman. This did cause the Richard riot, which took place in Montreal.
Did he just punch him or what?
Yeah. He punched a linesman. He was suspended for the rest of the season and the playoffs.
Yeah, they do take that seriously sometimes.
The game after, he made an appearance at the game, just in the crowd.
Showed face, if you will.
Yeah, showed face. And Habs fans felt that the punishment was too harsh. And
wow, that's crazy.
So then they started arguing amongst themselves after seeing him. Mm-hmm. And a riot spilled out of the forum and into the streets of Montreal.
Wow. Vancouver can relate.
Yeah. Vancouver saw this and said, I can
work with that.
I see your riot. I raise you.
I'll burn this city to the ground.
Yeah. Fans started fighting in the streets. 100 people were arrested. 37 people were injured. Over $100,000 in property damage incurred.
Ooh, that's a lot for that time.
And fans only chilled out after he made a personal plea
to
the press and was like, hey, this was actually a fair penalty. I'm fine. I'll be back. Let's all take a breath.
That is such a power move.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the TikTok edits that would be made for that today. And it is hitting.
Yeah.
And that just shows how chronically online I am.
Yeah. Overall, he won 8 Stanley Cups, 5 consecutively, which is insane. In 18 seasons, 978 games, he had 966 career points.
Oh my God.
Which is almost a point per game.
Yeah.
And 544 goals.
Yeah, he was good.
After retiring, he became an ambassador for the team and eventually vice president for a season before getting bored because he wanted to make changes that they were like,
they weren't ready for him.
Yeah, and so then he got bored. He did some other stuff. He had a sports news outlet for a bit.
Oh, that's fun.
He did a bunch of things. And in 1998, he was diagnosed with abdominal cancer, passing 2 years later. He was the first.
Ooh, that is a very painful cancer to have.
Yeah. He was the first non-politician to be honored with a Quebec state funeral.
They did a state funeral for him?
Yeah. So, that's some trophies.
I think I can overlook the age gap for the rest of it.
Just think about the trope, not the age gap.
Okay. Thoughts, feelings, concerns? I need the Devils to get it together. I need the Canes to keep it together. Everyone just maintain.
I need us to stop acknowledging the fact that they're on a win streak, because I think they play either Anaheim or LA tonight. And
well, I mean, the Canucks got beaten by the Penguins, and not insignificantly. And then they lost to someone else.
Yeah.
The Flames. Ooh, that game pissed me off. But I don't want to bring that up, because I want to send love out into the world today.
I want to send love out there.
I'm still delusional. I think the Canucks could still wild card it.
We'll see.
It could happen.
We'll see.
Other than that, the only confirmed team that's going to the playoffs is the Capitals. Who's freaking surprised at all?
Yeah.
And the only teams that are confirmed eliminated. It's not confirmed to be the ESPN app, though. And it's not official until it's official. But yeah, they're going. And the only two teams that have been confirmed eliminated are the Sharks and the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Sharks win the cup for best vibes. The Lauren Mansell Trophy.
They win the social media cup.
And Connor Bedard wins the biggest survivor award.
Yeah. You know, in a way, it's a mercy elimination. Because can you imagine him trying to carry them into playoffs? So that's how I'm choosing to look at it.
No, he needs to go home to Vancouver. He needs at least a week to sleep and warm meals and positive affirmations from his parents.
He needs a home-cooked meal in his, childhood room. Mm-hmm. He needs therapy. Yeah, period. That's all.
I will say is it Lucas Reichel? He also deserves a trophy. He's the only other Blackhawks player that I know that supports. He stands on business a bit, and I like it.
I'm glad he stands with Connor. Does.
Yeah, for real.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, let's not get into a scream fest like we did last episode.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we'll see you next week, and happy Cotaquel. I hope everyone survives. Stay healthy, stay happy. If
you're reading the new Hunger Games book,
no spoilers.
Give me a rating, but no spoilers, please.
Yeah, just a solid this many out of 10.
Yeah, how many cry emojis?
Yeah. Okay, bye, y'all. Bye.